Yeah, hello everyone. Today is the day where we talk about this topic you see in this picture, flat Earth. How did I come to the flat Earth? It was only last year in April, right after my birthday, when I discovered a video about the, the amateur rocket team in America using GoPro cams going up with the rocket, and this video would have been quite normal for me if the one who presented the video would not have written flat earth, same as you can see it now in the picture. And in this moment it just made click, and I knew instantly the earth is flat. This is maybe the easiest way uh, to be convinced in the very same second as you see it. Other people have more difficulties. Other so-called flat earther, they they need months, and they are weary. They are going back and forth, and this cannot all be. But for me, it was instantly clear the Earth is flat. Only because he was showing some parts that because the GoPro cam is the wide angle, and so you have the fish islands, and it is like a bow, but concave and convex. So it's changing, and then suddenly you have a picture like this also in between. You see this is flat. And even though this is still no proof that it is still going round somehow, in this case you have to see the horizon has to go down. It cannot stay always on the same level when you go up, which is the case. So this is the proof, one proof of the Earth is flat. But also what you can see here in the picture, the close sun looks like a bulb light. Uh, yeah, and so when I saw this, I thought that's amazing. And if you would have asked me one day before, I would not be able to answer this. I would just think, no, actually not. The globe is a sphere, it's elliptical. I would just tell the things that I thought to know, that I was taught before. And I remember also, I think in 1994, uh, the Pope, uh, John Paul, uh, he announced also, yes, the Earth is a globe, and now we believe in the heliocentric worldview. And so I remember this very well when I was in my 20s, and I thought, okay, now when the Vatican even says, when the Church even says the Earth is the ball, then it should be like this also, because they were always something like the Earth is flat, which seemed to be the truth, but they were playing a double game, as I found out now, with the Jesuit order. I'm not sure if John Paul was in the Jesuit order, but this current Pope and Pope Pius, uh, during the time of the Second World War, they were in the Jesuit order, and all the Jesuits are promoting this uh, spherical or the heliocentric view since 500 years. Copernicus and whatever, Galilei, and all these figures who are all in the Freemasonry. So this is how I got to this flat Earth topic, and of course, then I had to look other videos. Eric Dubay, the 80 evidence or 200 evidence of the earth is flat, and some things I did not understand because you have to get into this again. It's already long time out of school. Um, but other things, natural things, which you can see, which you can observe in nature, this was very convincing, even though I could not answer too much at that time. And so, as you know, YouTube is always suggesting, and so there were always more and more topics coming up. And so I nearly forgot to say this is still Let's Talk About aBLOG, and this is edition number 20. 21. So, edition number 21 is about the flat Earth. For me, this is now the main bit. And now I'm already quite good in this. I can argue with people, which we should actually not do, because argue means like fighting with our minds. And you cannot really convince people who are convinced of something else. Everybody has to find out him or herself, and uh, we have to stay open, as Michael Tellinger said. Remember, I think the second blog of mine, the second blog of the playlist, we have to keep our minds open because, okay, the earth is flat for me. This is what I can say as of now. I'm very sure that this is not a ball earth, and so the heliocentric worldview is part of the Great Deception. And when you look at all these things like the fake moon landing, and we need to put on this picture and open the blog in the background. This fake moon landing important for to promote this whole Earth, put everything into it, and also the space travel, walks, whatever. This is all fake. If you look at this deeper, but many people, of course, have the problem. They are not so far yet. They did not look too far behind the scene. That I see them still sitting. The majority is still sitting in the theater and just watching the show instead of just standing up and going around. Go look behind the scene. What is going on there? What are they playing? What is the director of the show saying? What will come up next, and so on. And this is conspiracy theory, because you cannot see it clearly. It is still behind the curtain. You hear some voices, you hear something, and then you maybe go back to the show and you tell, hey, they're planning something very bad with us. I know this is a horror. And then, of course, there will be guards, security guards, and they take you away, drag off. And this dragging out is also a good thing, which was the building, and then you see, oh, this building looks like a pyramid, and then you stand out of the pyramid, you can see the whole structure, and so on. Yeah, so this flat earth topic is really very interesting, but during time, I looked at the model, and it was also convincing for me, but the model has also, like every model, has its weeks, and yeah, it can be even falsified, yeah. Or certain things cannot be explained really, or you can explain with fantasy, and this is exactly what they are also doing with the heliocentric worldview. It's always explained with excuses. So until they came to the gravity, because gravity is very important for to keep the heliocentric worldview. without gravity, the whole thing would not work. Yeah. When I start to talk to someone about it in real life, then I explained, look at this, why the Earth must be flat and stationary, and why we must have the dome above us, so it's a closed system, it's not open. Uh, this is because when you have the pole and at the equator we have 40,000 kilometers, and you divide this with 24 hours, you will have a speed of 1,666,666, the number of the beast, um, as a speed at the equator. So this speed, you take the speed, this is faster than jumbo jet, between the jumbo jet and the jet fighter, and you know the strongest storms maybe 200 miles per hour, or even actually less. 140 miles per hour is already very strong and damage. So just take the tenth of the 1,666 kilometers per hour. You can imagine there is nothing left anymore. There would be only desert and nothing can survive. Not even the ants. They would all be blown away because of the effect of, you know, like you are sitting on the highway in a cabriolet and on the highway, and you have a speed of 166.6 kilometers per hour, and I think I don't even know if this is possible. I think you would feel already some kind of danger. Or on the motorbike, I think it's possible, but on the motorbike, we can have speeds even up to 200, but you really have to, you have to glue to the machine. If you are sitting behind someone, you have to glue this driver, because it would blow you away. So you can imagine these powers of winds just by moving. So, and only with this magic gravity, this is a fiction of the scientists. I call these, or the science nowadays, I call actually science fiction. It's fictional science. Yeah. With numbers and formulas and whatever, and nobody understands. Of course you cannot understand, because you're not a scientist. You didn't study this 10 years or whatever. We don't need to study this bullshit. This is all phraseology. Just look at the nature, be natural, and this explains everything. It's actually very simple to see this. But for real idiots from who are studied in university, sorry to say this, but the more you study in these institutions of the Vatican, universities are of the Vatican, you can research this, then uh, you know you are more and more brainwashed. You can really forget about it. So this was the explanation. That means if the Earth would be moving, it was a question about moving, and it must be moving for to make day and night. Yeah, in the model, in the heliocentric model. Then we would have this speed, and that would mean if we just jump up, we would just fly maybe hundreds of meters back in that moment. It would not be possible. So, but we have the magic gravity. The gravity is nowhere to be seen, of course. That's why it's so magic, and it's from inside the ball Earth. So inside the ball Earth, that's very interesting, because the deepest swing was about 12 kilometers, 12,235 meters, about like this. There's a website, about this from this company. They did since the 70s into the 80s, and I think 91 government stopped this because they couldn't go further. They reached 12 kilometers, but then at this mark of more than 12 kilometers, they couldn't go further, and they had no material. They were researching about new material for drilling that must be harder than this rock they are on. Yeah. And they were drilling like if you would be with your hand, with your fingernails on a, pedestrian way. There's no chance you damage your fingers only. Yes. It's like this, and they are also showing uh, pictures on the website. The damaged tools of this, so they were not able. And when I talk about it with um, some so-called global, um, then of course they say there's only the Russians and so on. If the Americans would do this, they would be better. Yeah, then they would have done this already. I think the Russians are actually very good in such things. They would actually create the most sustainable material. Yeah? So very robust, better than Americans and Germans. Uh, Germans are more sophisticated in certain things, but uh, I think the Russians would be the best in this. So they couldn't make it at a certain spot, so it would be worth to try this. But somehow the government means mind control, doesn't want this anymore. Yeah. So they needed to know for themselves, and that's enough. And so uh, this is the mark, 12 kilometers about. You cannot go further. So how somebody can say, oh, we have an inner core which is very hot and so on. This is totally bullshit. Who can say this? Have you been there? Have you done a drilling or something? Of course, there's also the question where the volcano, this lava is coming from. Yes, you have magma chambers in a certain area down until 12 kilometers. What I'm saying, I cannot prove this, but theoretically it would be possible to make a drilling into this volcano somehow, or just besides the volcano. Then you would find out, you would come to the magma chamber, but maybe it would be also dangerous, because then the lava would maybe come out. So, but this is in my belief, yeah? And when I say belief, then this is my, I'm convinced of this. It is within the 12 kilometers. And then you have at 12 kilometers, that's the bottom. That's the bottom to the underworld. And there's, could be also a connection there, maybe from the pyramids. But usually I think that this is the bottom line. And what is below this is not reachable for us. So we have a limit on the flat earth of 12 kilometers below us. We should make more drillings, every country, as soon as the countries would be independent in 100 years. Then more drilling that we can, you know, you need to have more than one to be convinced that this is about 12 kilometers, because maybe somewhere to get deeper, so you have more clues about it. But they don't do it. So, okay, and this is already enough information. And then we have probably this ice ring, which could be closed. Some say there's some opening, maybe. Um, and then we have the dome. And the dome seems to be very flat, not like in the model shown. This is not accurate. It seemed to be like at the ice ring. It's like this. You come to the ice ring, you have a very low temperature. And if you go deeper into this, then this temperature will decrease. And I think it will decrease like when we go up until minus 273.50. This is the 0 Kelvin mark, and there's nothing moving anymore. But man cannot reach this, so man can go until minus 60, and I think that Scott died because of he went too far. And I'm sure they already managed to use rockets were firing rockets towards the edge, and even the cameras, I'm sure. And I think that they know that the rockets will just go further, and then suddenly, because of the temperature, they will drop somewhere. And where this dropping is maybe already very dark. So that means there's the option that there's no real border. This is just about the temperature, and it's getting dark. It's like getting dark like up in space. Uh, so it's actually just like floating in space, regulated by temperature. This temperature makes actually the ball, because at 0 Kelvin nothing can move. There's no life possible. This is pure vacuum, you can say, just regulated by the temperature. There are also other options that, there are other worlds that you go, if you find a way out, that you actually go outside the ice ring and go into another world which is much bigger than this one. This is also possible. And I actually have a picture of this, and I think I should show you this picture. Even I'm out of this scene. Actually, yeah, I would like to show you this picture because this would explain something. This is now quite unprepared, the whole thing. I just have to look. Not a whiteboard. Because this picture shows this I created actually myself. I just don't know anymore how to make this picture. Wait. Must be a widget. Somehow it should be a widget. It should be used. Just give me a second. Because same as I got this picture up, it should be actually possible to make another picture. It's not a whiteboard, but also not a slideshow. Media file, yeah, of course. So I'm on this already. I open another media file because this one should be also here in this software, and it actually shows the 2D animation, the flat Earth. Now I just have to find where it is. Yes, I found it already. Good. So I need to time. We took this one. So this is the new picture. I just want to get this in the right way, but obviously this is the scale. Okay, and I will put it here. Okay, so here we see the actual flat Earth circle with the ice ring. But I altered it somehow. So you see the continents. The continents look also different, but this is also not for scale. As you see, also Australia is very long. It could have a different size than what we see on other maps, but this is not for scale. This is something we really don't know for sure. Yeah. Others might know better in the Freemasonry, but we don't know for sure. And then you look at the North Pole. Actually, this picture I could make much bigger, but not here. So in the North Pole, you have the ice in wintertime, northern part of Russia, and then Alaska, Canada, and Greenland, Norway. So this is also like an ice ring. And then we have this magic North Pole where, you know, airplanes saying that they are flying over, but actually they are flying just besides the North Pole. Because what I think is at the North Pole, there is, there's also ice. The whole thing can be covered, but there's something inside that we cannot reach. And this is a so-called Mount Meru. You have to research this Mount Meru. Also, Eric Dubé is talking about this because this is very well known all over the world in ancient books. This is actually the Garden of Eden, maybe where we are coming from even. And I even thought before I heard about it that we must come from out of the North Pole, the spirits, maybe. Yeah? And this polar light has all to do with this. But this Mount Meru we cannot reach closed, and this is closed symbolically by a snake which is biting into the own tail. Something like this. You can see also that this is round. And that's why I created at the outside thing, I created a similar thing. You see also a picture beside where you can see this ice part, and the sea is actually also ice. There's something inside, very small, yeah, comparing to the rest. And now in this picture you can see that I change the shape of the ice ring also a little bit. I make a little bit more ocean and so on, so that it looks similar to in the North Pole, so that you can imagine better that on the left hand side you find Greenland, and on the north you find Canada and Alaska with this green and light green. This is Balearic Islands. Somehow I miss this, of course, very amateuric. And then you see in the eastern and southern part, this Russia. You can see Kamchatka, and you can see uh, whatever this Sakhalin Island and Hokkaido and Japan, Taiwan, even China, Korea, and so on. So that means it could be also possible that after the ice ring, that's another option. We don't know. We have to think about all options. Is another just bigger world, yeah, just bigger world, and it could. Yeah, this is only my idea. It could actually the same a copy of this, but a lot bigger, and or it's other lands, which is totally different to what we see here. But for sure, if there is something outside, it is just the bigger scale, and there around could be an ice, could be another bigger scale. That means we go from big, and where we are coming from, Meru, this would be we could have the size of an N, more like an N. Yeah? And when you come out of this ice ring and you go into this Russian part or European part, then you suddenly walk through a gate. And I'm telling you why I think like this also, because Arctica, or the other side, the ice ring, Antarctica, has a meaning. Arctic, arc, there's the word arc inside. Arc de Triomphe. This is a gate. That means they call it the gate. The gate to something, or coming from something. That's why I think about a gate over there. Nobody can go there, even not they themselves. Yeah. And it seemed to be also there. You cannot just go by yourself. And when they go there themselves, like David de Meyer Rothschild went there with helicopter, this is only outside where they go. They cannot go inside because it is said that everything which tries to go inside will be destroyed. It will draw out the nails of the boats and will be sunken by something like a magnetic power. Yeah? So nobody can go there. And the same thing applies for the outside ring, the Antarctica. Ant is from anti. Anti is Latin and it means the opposite, or also in our terms it means against. That means on the other side. Okay, so that's why you have Antarctica, and we can call it also like Antarctica. This is already a right term. It's not wrong to call it like this. To call it South Pole, North Pole would be wrong on flat Earth because there's no south in this case. There's only outside and inside. Yeah. Okay. So we have this Meru, and the same we have outside, and what you have inside in Meru, this is also outside. Could be into another world where we would become very giant. If we go through this line, you can see also the circle line around from the old picture. This is the border, and we could become giants because the world is much bigger. Yeah? But this is only theory. This is fantasy. Fantasy based on ancient books. So this knowledge is available, and I'm sure that they have it in the archive of the Vatican. They have all this knowledge, but nobody can receive all the knowledge because even the Pope cannot just read all these things which they have there. Yeah. So man is always limited to everything. So this picture I would like to keep here. Also, this is quite interesting, quite good. But this is already the fantasy, which is okay. We can talk about fantasy like this, but we cannot take it for granted or for real. We can only take for real which we see here in this circle around us. This is the horizontal circle, and it's interesting because you have the circle around you, same as the flat Earth model is showing. So it looks like it is like this. I'm not sure about the distance, but it looks like at least 5 kilometers or 10 kilometers, maximum 20 kilometers. You can look with your bare eyes to the horizon just around you. When you are in a city, you can see much because the buildings, but when you are on the countryside, you can see more, and then you know what I'm talking about. It's a round circle, and this round circle is everywhere. And if you would go up, you would see that the circle is going wider and wider. You can see more and more, but the horizon is going up with you, with your eye level. It's about the eye level. Yeah? But because up there, and this is the test which I have seen, the rocket test, because up there they get only in America they get only 220 kilometers, and interestingly in Sweden they also did a test with the rocket. You can check out yourself on YouTube. Also 120 kilometers, so that means there should be the limit. Yeah. And but I also found out something, that there is some planetarium, I don't know how to call it in English, and they do certain things there, projections, and they project a star with a laser. in Chile, and then they put the star on height of 90 kilometers. And then I thought, click, yes, I know what they mean, why it's at 90 kilometers. Because the laser would actually go much further, for sure. I don't know how far the laser light can go, maybe even unlimited, I don't know, I think not unlimited, but many hundreds of kilometers. So there's a limit on 90 kilometers in Chile. And when you look now at the flat Earth, and you know about geography, then know where Chile is in South America. It looks on this model, it looks like a horizontal line. There's Chile, but Chile is close to the outside ring, closer than America. America is inside. So when America is 120 kilometers, Chile is 90 kilometers. Maybe at Maru it is at the top. That means Polaris, the star, center star. It's maybe 150 kilometers, not more. I don't think that it is more. Think about the dome. Yeah? Now you have to think about 3D model. The dome. So there's 150 kilometers in America, is 120 in Europe also. Maybe it's not even 150 kilometers because in Chile it's 90. But I think at the outside ring, if we think about a closed system, it means that there's no outside world like in this picture. Then, and regulated by temperature, of course, then the limit, you can also call it the dome, the firmament from the Bible, is going maybe straight up first and then going around. It means it might go up 50 to 100 kilometers, about 50 kilometers, and then Chile is then 90 kilometers high already, maybe like this, I think. So we can only, we can only imagine, and of course for globe heads it isn't really scientific, and it doesn't need to be scientific. You just have to think for yourself how things could be. Ask yourself inside. Yourself is inside. So then we have here the Flat Earth Live canal, Flat Earth Live channel. Yeah. So this I cannot click on the link, but I would like to open it, and that's why I will open a browser besides, because this link might not be active anyway anymore. I set this link for the Flat Earth Live channel. It's a German channel, but these guys can speak English. But in this channel, every Sunday at 8 o'clock in the evening, live, they talk German, of course, but in English they have also a similar program, I think, by the Globus. I never watched it, but this would be interesting, similar story. And so this one has already more than 50 episodes talking about Flat Earth. It was created by the leader of in Germany with the name Cesar. I think he is also known in the English Flat Earth community because he's also doing English videos. But I have a little problem now because the internet is not there. So I'll make a little break until the internet is coming, because otherwise I cannot proceed in this. Okay, I will make a little break until the internet is there, and I can also go where the king has to go as well. So see you later. So we are back again. It was good that I made a break because then I could prepare. Because this needed about 10 minutes to prepare this. So here you can see the blog in original, and it is quite long, and something I already talked about, but I will repeat this again. This will be maybe many hours blog, I think, which I'm talking about now. This is also the greatest topic, and I will click on this Flat Earth Live channel, and we will see what will happen. It is a YouTube link, and it will open on this side. That means it's not opening in a news site. And I'm very because I already that would be the case. It's since a couple of months. Just read this. This account has been terminated due to multiple or severe violations of YouTube's policy against spam, deceptive practices, and misleading content or other terms of service violations. So now think about it. This was after the stream number 37, where Astro Tony was present, and Cesar presented his video about the moon and some other things, and he criticized this video, and he said you cannot say like this, and this is not for sure, and so on. And maybe it was a little bit too much, especially for the ego of Astro Tony. But then came out that also other things happened about his Facebook group of the flat Earth knowledge knowledge community and so on. So they were kind of competing already at that time. And of course, this is making a problem. And so this one was deleted. Yeah. After one or two strings more. And when you read this, it's totally bullshit, because after 37 streams, it was all okay. They were not talking directly about the Jews and whatever, but they were mentioning Jesuits and Freemasons and so on, which is not forbidden. Yeah. It is only critical in Germany to talk about the Jews, because there's a law about it. You cannot talk against a single man or group. You cannot talk badly, and this is of course referring to the Jews, and secondly maybe also to the Muslim, but Christians you can talk badly already, and white people anyway. Yeah? Talk against German people is no problem. So now you know where the wind is blowing, and I will search for this again, because I have to set a new link as well. Even though maybe I should leave it like that as well, because when I leave it like this, everyone can see something is wrong there. Flat Earth Live, and you have, what is the problem about Flat Earth? There's a big problem about it, because this is about the deception. When you understand they lie about our living space, then you can understand that everything else is a lie as well. So, and Flat Earth Live, I think I will just search for this in German language, of course. I don't think they have Flat Earth Live in English. I think I leave it like this, because one can search for this as well. When I search for this, you can this struggle, Astro Tony was out. He's doing his own things. He's representing the model, and he's not letting any opposition talking against it. And then also you cannot let the globe heads talk about it, because you will just fight with your brain about this, about the models. And this community here has already now number 53, stream number 53 or episode number 53, and they continued without Cesar, who needed to have a break. As well as I know, because I'm not now up to date really, but it looks like Cesar is not yet there, so others will make the show. The show is on, and these people for more things. They don't want to stick to the Earth model alone, because this is not really, you can lose the discussion about this, because the globe heads are right as well, same as we are right about the globe model, that there's something wrong. Yeah. So it's not complete. We don't have enough knowledge, but we have to find out further. And so I think I just leave it like it is. It is good so, like it is. And maybe I should just close this then, because I just talk about this blog. I hope that the quality is somehow understandable, because I have opened a website in the background and it is maybe also not so good. So because I don't know, maybe I want to show something else as well. So it's better to keep it open and go back to the page, and it's still there. This is good. So I can talk about it. So yeah, I'm more likely I use the model as well to explain things, but then you have to also say leave all these models. Model is only theoretical, and in practice it might look different. And we have just to say we are just at the beginning. We don't really know. All I know is that the Earth is not a globe, and the heliocentric world with a satanic fireball sun. This is all bullshit, as you can see also in my picture here. When I remove Brew, this is not a fireball sun. I'm sorry, but this is very close. The sun rays is of course because of the lens. If you could go up there, you would see with your bare eyes, it would look certainly different, be just around light. But so talk about it. And I'm actually starting with the back. I'm not with the back. I'm starting with something where I'm already a little bit further. I'm writing. I was thinking about the method. With the method that I can what is this? Disprove the globe. I call it the globus, because globe uh, is AU in globus, like a Latin word. It's actually globus in German, and so you have this globus. Glaube means believe. Yeah? So the people believe in this. So how I can do this efficiently? This was just an idea for me, and I thought it's important to write this down. Normally there should not be any doubt anymore. about being wrong. But this is not the case, because nobody wants to be wrong. You know? So people stick to this really. They are really, like one guy said, earthball fascist. Yeah, they are really into this, and they have a lot of knowledge, but it's already going into crazy directions, which is yeah, not understandable. How someone can think like, I'm standing on the sea and I can see that the sea take a bow. That means it makes a mountain of water. You know? That, and when I say this is only perspective, that the water looks like going up, but when you're on the water, you just go level, straight. Cannot understand. You know? But this is because these people are too much to the middle. And this is the same risk when you have the model, and this cannot work. But on the other hand, when you stick to a model, you can explain a lot of things, and you can even convince people. While these people from Flat Earth Life community, they also say, we don't want to really convince you. If you want to believe something else, that's okay. You have to let the people choose. Just give information, and because you're also not God, you also don't know everything, and you just think also. And so uh, we are open for, actually should really look outside and just see what we see, but this is not much, because remember we have a horizontal circle of around in diameter 20 kilometers. Maybe we can go further, we can go more up, but because there is the limit of, let's say, 120 kilometers, you cannot go further with a rocket. With a camera, you can see only a certain part of the Earth. And this is with the rocket test, you can see New Mexico. That's it. Maybe a couple of thousand kilometers only. And that's not enough. You cannot see the edge. You would also not see the edge. Because you could actually make a test at Antarctica. I think they did it already. And go up there. And they would maybe just go up 60 kilometers. The rocket, with the balloon, you cannot go so high, but with the rocket, and there would be the same effect. Yeah? But you would not see the border because it's so dark. It is black. The black is black. It's an astronaut was saying. Astronaut, or I think astronaut, or even also jet fighter pilots. They were saying this. When you look up, this is the darkest dark, the darkest black you can even imagine. You don't see anything. So that means the truth is hidden behind. Yeah? That's why you cannot see that the firmament has water above. So all these things we can probably not find out. But more important is that we know it's not a ball and cannot be a ball. And the reason why it's not a ball, and this is actually the most convincing, which I'm using now. This is from the past I was writing. This is very clear. The water is level, sea level. That's why they call it sea level. Level is level. That means flat, plane. That's why it is a plane. It must be a plane because the water cannot bend around a heavy metal ball. Yeah? Because if you want to be scientific, then you have to make it in an experiment, and the experiment should be a very heavy metal ball, because you need the heavy mass for your imaginary gravity. This should actually create already a little bit gravity to stick the own gravity, because you know they also say that the moon has a certain gravity, so every heavy metal thing should have their own gravity, and it should be possible that water stick to the ball. You know? Even you make the model exactly like oceans are, so you deepen, you carve out something and put the water. You know already. You don't need to try. Everybody knows that this is not going to work. Water will not stick to this. And of course, they can use the excuse, yeah, because the gravity is coming from the Earth, and the gravity of the Earth is stronger, and that's why it's falling down to the Earth. No, it's only the law of density. It's only the law of density, and the law of density is a very important law in the whole system, not only in this physical world, also in the non-physical world. It's the same law of density. But that's another topic. So I will have a little come back again. I want to talk about the thing that what I was thinking to convince people, but of course certain people you cannot convince. But some people who are open, they can be convinced with this. Just a second. So back to this. So how to make people understand that this cannot be a globe, you know, must be a flat plane. The heliocentric world picture or world view says that the sun is in the center of the so-called planetary system. Again, you have the word system they are using. That's a model system only. So the planet, again, you have to know planet has meaning. Planet, there's also the word plane inside. That's why some flat earthers still want to use the word planet because plane is inside. Plane and edge. There's also the plan inside. There's a plan. Okay, and planet is actually something, a body that is moving around. So as the flat Earth is stationary, it's not moving around. It cannot be a planet. You have the fixed stars, and you have the stars who are moving around. So these stars, these are the bright stars. They can be called planets, but I would call them, okay, in English I would call them planets, but in German they have another term for this, maybe in English also. So it's better to call it a star because it's also a star like the other stars, which are smaller. The stars, this is something which is not so easy to understand, of course. So in this geocentric system, the Earth is moving around the Sun. For that, it will be 1 year. So now, in this globe model, how we can create day and night. You really have to recall this from the school, because most of the people don't really think about it anymore. This is only possible due to a turning around the own so-called axis, theoretical axis, from north to south pole. From where the motion is coming from, who has started turning this, who knows? Yeah. But there are also Christians who are now believing that there's a ball because of the UNO school system, the international curriculum worldwide. So they would say, oh yeah, God made it. He just make it turn, like you make turn the basketball on your finger. Okay. And also the question is why it would be turning all the time, because the basketball, if you turn it one time, it will stop to turn as well. So this is already a question where certainly there's an answer. There's an answer from the globe heads. I would like to know the answer about this. Maybe somebody can comment with the answer, how the movement started and how this exact movement also, that it is not stopping as well. It's always turning like this. But this explanation is not understandable, for sure not understandable for normal people. It has to do with formula and whatever magic things. So, but I would like to know the answer for this. For me, it is already this thing is already very questionable. So from where this is coming from, the movement of the Earth. But the most important in this theory is that the Earth ball must turn. It must turn around to make day and night, because it's turning around the sun. It would be always one side only day, like with the moon. Yeah, only one side day and one side night. In reality, the moon is at least just a disk, like the Earth, the living space at least of the Earth, and the sun a disk as well, in my opinion. So there is no dark side of this, because it's also said in the Bible that sun and moon move at the firmament. It means below, they are sticking to the firmament, like our bulb lights now. The modern lights, they are actually already inside the ceiling, but actually usually we put them at the ceiling. Yeah? So you have to imagine like this. And for this, we need the models to make people imagine something. But this is not 100%. This is never accurate. This is something one needs to know. For this, we have to be open, that no model can really show the reality. It's impossible. So the Earth ball has to be turning. So now we imagine this model to be a football or a basketball or a tennis ball on our finger. Let's take a basketball on our finger, and then we turn it around. So when we scientifically test this, then we would see that the air is turning. The air would be circulating. Yeah? So we would have actually strong winds there, if you compare this to Earth. So we know that the physical body has another, how to say, you know, the, yeah, the density of the physical body, like a ball, let's say a metal ball, is of course more density than water or even air. So, but we have in this system, we have the water sticking to the ball, earth, and the air as well. So how this is possible? That means when the ball is turning, the air cannot turn with the ball the same way. This is what you can see in the experiment, also with the tennis ball. Uh, the water, uh, you can see it visibly without light influence, that it is just spinning away. You know? Because the gravity is missing, because there's no gravity. You know? There's just density, the law of density. And this is the law of nature. Gravity is unknown. It's yeah. This is the scientists, the Vaticanic, Satanic, Jesuit, Freemasonic scientists. They had to find a solution in this, because at that time people were asking, this is not possible. Because what I'm asking now, this is exactly what people were asking at that time 100 years ago. And so the heliocentric worldview was going to die. Yeah? And this cannot happen. So that's why they found this solution, and this is how they do this. The students or the doctors or the professors have to come together in the university, and they ask, everyone needs to get his input, how we can make this, and the one who gets the right answer, will win the Nobel Prize, you know? And that means a lot of money. So, and everyone wants to find a solution, and then you present your solutions, and so you get to this gravity. There will be always a solution automatically, because people want to make the money, right? So, when the ball is turning, the air cannot turn with the ball. It's not possible. And the water, it would be the same. The water in the oceans would just fly away if there would not be this magic gravity, which we can prove. Gravity we cannot see. Gravity is just numbers and formulas on the board. Or this Neil deGrasse or others, they show something falling down. That's gravity. No, that's not gravity. That's density. Law of density. But in the reality, if we jump up, or even when we fly, you know, this would be not possible without gravity on a rotating body. That's not possible, because we would just fly away. So this is what I said before. At the equator, about 40,000 kilometers, and then you divide this with 24 and get a speed of the very interesting number of 1666, and of course 666, 6666 kilometers per hour. So this would be a driving speed wind, like on the highway between a jumbo jet and a jet fighter. So now try this at 200 kilometers per hour, or let's say 160 miles per hour for the Americans, in a cabriolet on the highway. Just try, and you will know what I mean. I think it's already quite frightening or even dangerous for your life. And with more higher speed, you would even fly away from this vehicle. And this is exactly what would happen on a ball that is turning. Sure, it must turning for this model to function without gravity. So if you understand that something which is not provable, not visible, only by formulas, that you would be really insane to believe in something like this, then you have to think about other options. That means the other option is, look outside, you see the clouds are not even moving when there's no wind, really. That's still. The earth is still. Yeah? This is what we see in the reality. So we don't need to imagine anything else. So that means if it would be like this, life on this earth would not be possible when the earth would be turning. Just a second, I found something which I would like to change. I found a mistake. Yeah, so this is a question, a big question, and for me it's very clear, very simple, and some globe heads, they think, how is this possible that still people, we have crazy people who think the earth is flat? No, all the flat earthers believe years ago that the earth is something like this. And there are globe heads, like we all have been before, who are thinking that Earth could look like a like like a kiwi, or like this fruit you're using for Halloween. So everything they can imagine, and we can imagine everything with the mind or brain. This is the functioning. The brain can imagine everything. So the Earth can be flat, the Earth can be a ball, it can be even a cube. And also this idea of the cube is not so wrong, because outside as well, or more likely even the pyramid. Maybe it's above the firmament is even the pyramid. You don't know, we cannot say for sure. There could be something, and so we have to think about all possibilities. We have to be open for everything without totally connecting to this, to be totally convinced of something. Yeah? So we have to stay open for everything. So I just want to get this straight, because there was a letter missing. So that's not possible. I am writing down, and we go further, and there's another link as well. So then we go further. Image comes from imagine. Imagine, there we have the word imagus from Latin. That means magic. Imagus is magic, or the magician. This is, that's why they call it image. They actually never call it photo, officially not photo, but in newspapers sometimes they change it to photo, which is not good, not correct. This is then a direct lie, but this is because they forward this information from the NASA, and then others change it without thinking about it. So it's not the responsibility of NASA anymore. NASA is in this case not lying, because they call it image. Image means just imagine, just imagination. And even picture is like painting, is also not real. And even a photo, this would be the most real. Even a photo is not real, because you can see this when you take photographs sometimes. It's not we uh, as we see in reality, especially older pictures look different. Yeah? So it has to do with magic. They use magic on this. Yeah? And for many people it's also not acceptable, because magic, this is only Harry Potter movie or whatever kind of movies. This is maybe some tribes in Africa, they do this. Yes, they do. Or in Asia or in Latin America. Or this is of the past, and the Middle Ages and so on. The Dark Ages, we are in the Dark Age still. And so they use a lot of magic. And for those who cannot accept this, then this is something they cannot look at this. But with magic, it's all done with magic. This is why people think the blue marble picture, this is real. But in reality, it's a painting. It's even painted. And there are also YouTube videos which is showing how to paint this or spray paint this. And even at that time, people think 71, they didn't have the computer to do this. Oh yes, the technology is 20, 30 years ahead. The military first all controls. This is what Eisenhower, the Jew Eisenhower, also said. Be aware or watch out the military-industrial complex. They keep this information first, they use it, and then they give it, like Photoshop, they give it out after, earliest after 20 years, if not even 30 years, and also in a lower quality. So they have much more of this, and so that's why I'm sure in the 70s they could create the blue marble, and this is actually the best creation they made. All the creations are actually worse. When you compare all these Earth images. So anyway, imagine has to do with magic. It is connected with magic. And it is like magic, it works like magic for those who are already waking up, not, nobody can call himself, I woke up already, because nobody can see everything. Even the most, the most knowing guys, where you only can think, oh, why he knows this, from where he knows this is amazing. Even they don't know everything. This is also not possible to know everything because we are not God. But we know something, and so we can understand this, imagine and magic better. So there's a video link to show the proof of the flat Earth. I actually don't know what it is, but I just click on it, and we will see how it will open. I think it will open another website, and I fear that the quality of my speech will decrease. I hope so not. But I see the computer is working, the CPU is working, because I have already the website open, and is also showing high CPU usage detected. You may experience performance issues. Yeah, that's exactly the case. Depending on the website, and this video is not available. So I will have to go on. I think I will make a short break because I have to reload this anyway again, and then I have to, this thing I would have to change because this video is unavailable. Sorry about that. This is something I don't need to show on my blog. The other thing is okay, I can show, but this one I don't need to show. And so I will go out for a second and talk to you in a second. So back again, and I exchanged this. Maybe it's just the same video. You can see it here on the desktop. Eric Dubé's 200 proofs Earth is not a spinning ball.
At 360 degrees around the observer, regardless of altitude. All and drone footage show a completely flat horizon over 20 miles high. Only NASA and other government space agencies show curvature in their fake CGI photos and videos. 2. The horizon always rises the observer as altitude is gained, so you never have to look down to see it. If Earth were in fact a globe, no matter how large, as you ascended, the horizon would stay
You can look it up yourself. Um, you can look it up yourself. 200 proofs of Eric Dubay. If you didn't see it yet, so the blog is loading in, but no problem. We have still a lot to talk. The longest blog at all. So yeah, so the flat Earth is very important. Maybe it's the mother of all lies or deceptions. I would call it the Great Deception. And not everyone can see. Maybe most of the people will not be able to see this. Most of the people are not interested in this at all. They are just interested in their ordinary life. That's okay too. But let's see where it will lead them. So I better want to know about these things. It's much better. So yeah, the flat Earth actually leads us to think about where we are coming from. I mentioned this already. Mount Meru, the Garden of Eden. Some might come from the underworld. We don't know this, but this is worth to think about it. And then very important questions: who we are really, and why we are here, and where we are going to. So it looks like he is not coming up something. That's very strange. I don't know the problem here, because I want to talk about the blog further. Otherwise, I will just go on the other page. This is not going to help, because on the other page I would have this for sure. This would be here on the blogger page. Then we don't need to wait until this is going up, because it looks a little bit like open a bit more, even though the internet is down. But it's not. It is coming, but I don't want to wait soon. I will continue that. We have this as well. Go onto this and move to talk a little bit further, and then I can go back to the blog. So these are the proofs of Eric Dubay, and most of them you can use very well. So the space where we are living on is flat like a pancake. If you have a flat area, of course. We have mountains as well. But the water is actually always flat. There are some globe heads who are saying, no, we have the waves. Yeah, you know where the waves are coming from. The waves are coming from the wind. Okay? So it's flat like a pancake, with the exception of the mountains, of course. And let's have a look where the block is. No, the block will always come again and again. So this is not with this block page. It will better read on the left side. That's better. So there are no planets, or at least not like what they show us in the heliocentric worldview, because these so-called planets are stars that move in another direction. They move into the direction of according to the sun and the moon. Yeah? Sun and moon are on the sky. We are seeing the sun coming from the east, going to the west, about, and the moon is doing about the same thing or similar. And the stars that are called planets, the bright stars, are doing the same thing, while the other stars are turning around in a circle in one night. And you have the so-called northern hemisphere, means Polaris. We also call it the North Polar Star, but this would be not accurate on the flat Earth model. And you have the Southern Star as well. How it really functions, this is not easy to explain. Yeah? But you can see they are always in a similar formation and circling around. This is something to look into this deeper and try to understand this better, where globe heads have a lot of information to this, and it can be also quite confusing for someone who's not so deep into this matter. But anyway, so there are no other galaxies or whatever bullshit it is, or maybe it has another meaning. That means other worlds. Yeah, galaxy would be other worlds, but not same as they show us. That's not possible, especially when you see the Milky Way galaxy picture, and then uh, the, the arrow showing you are here. Who is taking the picture from outside? Yeah. And how you can say we are there? So this is all bullshit, fake. It's really something for stupid people, but actually these people are very intelligent who believe this. But yeah, you know, this is the brainwashing. There's only the sun and the moon. The sun and the moon, they work like yin and yang. Yeah? While you can see the yin and yang, you see also the flat earth circle, and you see day and night. Yeah? Yin is the night, and yang is the day. And when I look at this yin and yang symbol, and there's even more to this, it's something outside as well. You see the foundations of the earth. That means the air, the water, the earth, and the fire. These elements even doubled. But you have, when you only look at the yin yang, you see also an outside circle. This is the ice ring, and you see the border between yin and yang. Just look at the South Korean flag, but there is blue and red. That means blue is yin and red is yang. So you see this border, and this is the border between day and night. I am not sure if this is really representing day and night, if it's a straight line or if it's like this. It's possible that it's exactly like on the yin and yang symbol. And then you see these dots. In the yin, you see the white dot. That's the moon. And in the yang, you see the black dot. That's the sun. It's also called the black sun. So that means the sun is actually yin, feminine, and that means, uh, same as in German language, they call it in a feminine way, the sun, and the moon, they call it masculine. I think this is also the case. The moon has its own light, as written in the Bible. It can create its own light. That's why you can see the moon also in daytime, while the sun you can never see in nighttime. It's not possible. And the sun needs to get the energy out of the yang, out of the day. This is where the sun gets the energy. And you have to imagine it's like the sun is a light bulb, the yin light bulb, that means it needs to receive energy to function. If there's no energy, the light bulb will not go on. So you need to have a delivery. And this energy delivery, I think, is coming from the firmament, from the stars, which is like an electromagnetic or electrostatic field covering the Earth. And when you see this cover, again, this could be also like a sphere, maybe with underworld also, but we don't know this for sure. So the globe heads have something right about this also, but not that we are living on the sphere, but that the sphere is around us. That's quite possible. So only sun and moon in the yin and yang constellation, and they are across each other. That means when you have the solar or the lunar eclipse, that's not the sun or the moon or the earth in between. This is something else. And when you go into the airplane, you will see when you have this solar eclipse, especially, that suddenly a black spot shows up. From down the earth, you'll see it is nearly covered, but from when you are 10,000 meters high, you will see only a black spot, and this cannot be the moon, because then the moon would be close to the sun, which is never possible. In the heliocentric model, it is possible, but we would see somehow the moon. The moon must be somehow visible, or it must be the day before. It must come very close. But in actual fact, the moon is always in opposite direction, but never, straight away. But it could be an angle up, usually. Yeah? So that's why the moon can never meet the sun. And there's also a song even about this. Lady Sunshine and Mr. Moon. That means also, you see, the sun is lady, is yin, and Mr. is the yang. Lady Sunshine and Mr. Moon, they can never meet each other. There's a German song about this. And this is true. So you have already something about the flat earth in this song. This is interesting. And so this must be something else. And for me, this solar and lunar eclipse, these are just maintenance. This is a maintenance. It's like cleaning the lens or something. You know? So, but it is a topic. This is already not easy to talk about, and of course, this is also imagination. We don't know what it really is. It could be also another body, just of sun, like something like Nibiru, which is then popping into the sun. Is also possible. Like below the moon, there could be also something that is in front of the moon, which is making this these moon phases, which is concave and convex, changing always. So anyway, this is about moon and sun. They are across each other, and they might be moving usually at the equator, at the ring of the equator. at this firmament. But because they have to make the seasons, that means the sun especially, the moon is also moving north to south, but the sun is moving to the south in the winter season, to the south polar circle, and in the summer season to the north polar circle. But on the firmament, and if you see this as a dome, then you see, okay, it's going up and down at the dome. But it's still magical because you still can see the sun at the equator at the same position. So this is something, I don't know how to make this on the model. This is the problem about the flat earth model, how to make it possible that at the equator you see it still in the zenith, central line from east to west. But in Australia in winter time the sun is high up as well, while in Europe it is low down. So we have to find there some answers as well, with a model and even without a model. Stars are not to be seen in this video or in balloon flights and so on during daytime. And this is normal, so they should make an experiment in nighttime if the stars are still visible. This is very important for those who do experiments, even they are not flat earthers, to make a test in nighttime. When you have a clear sky, you can see the stars, and you are going up with this, then it should be possible also to see the stars up. Maybe not, because now at the moment the question is we cannot see the stars up when in daytime, but this is also not possible from Earth. So I think it has to do with the daylight, because the Earth is illuminated, let's say by the sun, and that's why it's not possible to see in the dark any stars. But when the sun is away and you put a rocket or better a balloon up there in 30 kilometers, I think you should see the stars. It should be different. This would be a very important experiment which NASA has done for sure as well already, but I don't have any material to see this. This I would like to see, so that the stars are really visible, and then you would maybe also see when, especially with the rocket, when they come up to 120 kilometers, the stars could be really big then. Because when the stars are inside the firmament, okay, because you don't know how thick the firmament is. If you think about a dome on top and then maybe a cube or a pyramid still above, then it's possible the stars can be still hundreds of kilometers further inside the firmament. So that's why you cannot really say if you can see the stars clearer. But when you take a camera, and even with my handy cam, unfortunately I cannot download this video because something did not function with the finalizing of this CD-ROM. So, but it doesn't matter. I saw for myself, I can zoom in the bright stars and I can see them already quite big. But you have Nikon P900 and even other cameras where you can zoom in also, and there are videos about this. You see the stars in different colors, and you see something moving. It's like water above as well, or it is like a magnetic field or something, electrostatic field. So the stars are always a circle. The Saturn has something which looks a little bit like it has a ring, but it's not exactly what they show us in the animations. All these pictures about the planets are animations only. So anyway, so we have this the stars that we cannot see in the videos. I would like to see them in nighttime. And these lights, they look like spread. but these red lights are only because of our eyes. When we look up in nighttime and we look at a star, and they are spreading like there are two stars. But this is only because this is optical illusion, or yeah, something like this. Yeah, optical illusion through our eyes, because we have two eyes. So it's better you watch it just with one eye, with the good eye. So it is of course only one star, and here I'm writing we can only see them from the Earth, but that's I think not correct. When we would have some evidence about balloons in nighttime, maybe it's not allowed to do balloons in nighttime. I don't know, because there's a risk airplanes would fly into this, so it needs to be coordinated, and of course private organizations, just amateurs, they might not get permission to do this, because the state, the one with the state, wants to control everything. But yeah, one has to try this, no? And in mystical way, you can even think that the stars are actually, I don't think like this anymore like last year, but they could be actually spiritual elements, maybe even angels, because this is something which you can read in the Bible, but I think it is something else. If you see it the natural way, but it could be, of the Creator. But they have certainly a function for our life here. Without the stars, I think we would not have a life. And of course, there are no satellites. There are no satellites, I'm writing, but also this is not correct. There are satellites, but these satellites are on a balloon. There are videos about this where they have this helium balloon, and they put on the satellite boxes, and they are flying, I don't know how long, I think for weeks, and they do this since the 50s. And interestingly, you have these balloon starts, they have the same name at the same time as the rocket starts. So they show the rockets going up, but actually they on another place in Sweden, in Norway, in Russia, I think also in America, they go up with the balloons. And so they get the so-called satellite picture from there. And for the satellite TV, I think they use the firmament, because when this is a solid thing, you can actually shoot the information against it and receive it somewhere, because the receiver, the satellite dishes, they're all in one direction. If you just look out the window and see the direction of the satellite dish, at first I thought the satellite dish is in direction of the big city antenna, this big tower. But then I realized when I went further from the tower, it's also in the same direction. So it's really towards the sky. And this cannot be a moving satellite anymore, because then the satellite dish would have to move also. So I think how they do this satellite TV is these big white satellite antennas they are using, that they shoot against the firmament, and there might be a reflection of this. This is, I cannot say for sure, but it might be like this, and then it will be received. In every area, it is. You have to adjust the dish, because if you don't adjust the dish as it is written up in the in the manual, then it will not receive what you want to receive. So this is about the satellites. There are satellites, I have to correct this, but not like they are showing us. with these CGI animations. Everyone can see that these are not real pictures, and it's also not possible to make such close pictures from something like this. And these satellites are, real produced. They are, as models, they are visible in reality in the factories, and also when they bring them up with balloons. So this is real, but these satellites are probably very likely for surveillance, or maybe also for the satellite pictures. And more importantly, there's no space station in orbit. There's no space. This was, I think, the first. Then the Mir, that means peace, also not real, and the ISS for sure not real. The ISS is just in a big pool in Florida as a model, and there they make the, uh, you know, it's a training pool. This is official, and I think with permission you can also visit this. And there they make the whole scenes with the astronauts, not astronauts anymore. They're astronauts. They're actors, all Freemasons, and this is also how it works, how the lie can be kept. Because when you are a member of the Freemasonry, you make an oath to Elohim, to the God of them, which is Satan, and you cannot breach this uh, promise. You cannot break the promise, otherwise you will have, uh, not only you will be dead, but your death will be that your soul has no peace anymore. Yeah. So this is quite serious, and that's why they all keep together, and nobody will talk even short before dying. They will not do this because they want to die in peace. But in reality, it has no influence on this, because when they are dying, their spirit will go up, and Archangel Michael will take care of them, and then they will receive what they have to receive. But here on earth, in this physical place, they believe in these things, and that's why, yeah, they are totally wronged, these people. So no space station. This is all fake. You can see computer animation. They take this, take this space station, then they black this out. Uh, the water in the swimming pool. There's even water in these pictures. Water going up from the astronaut uniform, because they are underwater when they do the spacewalks, and when they work on something which is totally nonsense. Also, the things which you can see inside the space station, that's all ridiculous. If you see the women with the hair up, and in zero-G flights, the hairs are not up like this, so it's really sprayed that the hair is up like this. Also, the signs they are doing, how they are holding their hands, all the equipment looks nearly worse than the Russian station. Everything is mixed up. Uh, you know, if you would be up in space like this, uh, you should be more careful about all these things. There are so many things you can look at this. I don't want to go into the detail. That's all fake. But again, it's very important to show that they can go out. We can go out. Don't worry, we are not closed in, because for some people it might be even might make them afraid. That's why they don't want to touch the flat Earth, because it's a closed system. They might be afraid, or some people even when they are older, they think, oh shit, my whole life I was believing only this bullshit, and now it's too late already to turn around. So there's no orbit, whatever. Orbit has also a meaning, but so this would be interesting to find the real meaning of orbit. because yeah, you could say or and bit, but it has also to do with orb. Remember the orbs? Something like this. So I'm writing that satellites are produced just on the, you know, on the paper, you know, when you draw the pictures and so on and build as models. At that time I was thinking like this. Now I know a little bit more, because the satanic science wants to make us believe that the data, the transportation of the data goes around the Earth. Yeah? That's why you have all around you have satellites and going from one to another to the Earth station and back and forth, and so this way you get a connection all around the world. But in reality, I'm writing, it's all through the towers. Yeah, this is true. The towers have also this function. We have the big towers in the mountains, and they connect really on the land, everything. And you have also the undersea cable. Let's have to add on the undersea cable. That means it connects also the islands, the continents, and whatever. Also, the satellites could not be kept uh, above. That's why they use balloons, but this is also just for a certain time until the helium is over or it's bursting or whatever. So it's also quite expensive, the whole thing. That's why you can do this only for a certain operation. So they just fall down somewhere, which could be also risky if it's falling down somewhere. But I have to make a little break. Again, I'm drinking too much tea. So in a second, I talk to you again. So I am back again. So most of the things are just Hollywood style, you know, a lot of trickery. These are all computer simulations of NASA, Hollywood production, and also the word Hollywood, I have to say something. Hollywood, remember creating languages, you can take off a letter, then it is Hollywood. The holy wood. You have holy wood. This is the magician. He holds the wood, the holy wood. Yeah? It's a magic stick. Holy wood is magic stick. This is why it's called Hollywood. It's actually holy wood. Yeah? So the magician is working with imagination, images. This is the Jewish satanic Hollywood production. See the moon story. Yeah? See the moon story. When I'm saying see the moon story, just look at this. This is Hollywood production for sheeple. So you have to decide if you will be the sheeple. So you take a closer look. You can see everything, but you have to be open and not be afraid that you lose something. You cannot lose. Or like Eminem said, lose yourself. I don't know. Maybe that's not the right way, but I mean that you free yourself. Free yourself would be the best thing. Lose yourself is the opposite. But maybe he means the same. Free yourself. So, who cannot believe this should go and see the private test of the protein. And this test, I don't know if I can open the link now. This link cannot be opened. Maybe I should save it first. Update. And then I will look at the GoPro team. It might be still the old video. We will see. I'm not sure yet. So I will go undo. So the blog will open. But here on the website it should open. And then we actually have a YouTube for this. So I can close the YouTube page already. So here's already come. But it has to load first. So even on the website it takes its time, but it's certainly faster because there's also, it's more big on the page than in the software. So here we are ready, and I will show you this then about the link. And then this is the second last link, then we'll be all coming to the end. So here we have GoPro team. GoPro team link, and I will see it will open externally. That's good. This is 2014 rocket launch, but that's okay. There's one of 2015. This is opened my eyes. This is the first video that I saw. That's why I end up here. But so you can find it under the term Go Fast 2014 rocket, but there's also Go Fast 2015. Many different videos, and actually this video is not the original one which I looked at, so I will a new start. So in this video, there's nothing about flat Earth. But what you could see is, first of all, in 2004 already, they made the first successful rocket launch. I don't know who they are really, and looks like amateur, maybe connected with certain groups as well, because this was money. I think $100,000 at least. Uh, this is quite professional. So yeah, so they went up and they said 70 miles or something. This is about 120 kilometers. You could see also in the short sequences. There's of course longer videos. You can check it out yourself. Concave and convex because of the GoPro cam they used. Also in the 2015 launch. And in the 2015 launch, you can also see, the speed and also how high it is going when the rocket is going up. And they have cameras as well. And in this, you can see the close sun. You can see also further away the moon as well. In this case, the moon is also physical, but anyway, it's further away. Yeah, so what you cannot see is how it's hitting the dome. So you have to research hitting the dome, and there's also explanation about why it's hitting or why it stopped to spinning, why it stops to spin. They have also this, but for me it is very clear when you see this, it's really hitting something and suddenly it stops to spin. Yeah. And so for me there's the end, cannot go further. And they even say for amateurs. But NASA of course wants to make us believe they can go, they don't need to go straight up. You have seen now in this video, it's the right way, you go straight up, but then it's hitting the, and NASA is going take a bow and after 500 miles is ascending to the ocean. That's what I can do. But because you can, after 500 miles, you don't see anything of this thing anymore. And the area in the ocean is already, military ships don't allow other cargo ships to go in between because of, there would be a real danger anyway that something is coming down, because other parts of the rocket booster, it will come down also in the sea area, so that's why they have to do it anyway. And there's no solid, and so they go out this way. You just have to think about how rockets how far rockets can go, maybe 10,000 kilometers. So it's not possible really for a rocket which is very heavy, and most of the energy is already losing at the start. You have seen this rocket is going very fast, that's why it's called go fast. And so the rocket booster, you still can see that it is dropping off, and then you have the rest of this, so it cannot go further than 500 miles actually at this kind of rocket. And the space leavers, they think that this is going out to space. It's impossible. But when you want to believe this, then you have to go on believing and following the Masonic order. So we go back to the blog because there's still something to talk about. And I will make it also visible to you here this one time. You can look at this or go back to this, and then I will, in this case, I should make the video on, so you see me talking to you. But I will go on the side and talk about the rest of it. It should not be so long anymore. So to this video, as I said, there are longer videos, more details. In 2015, I don't know, last year if they did something, you have to check it out. So there you can see it more clearly. The so-called North Pole is the center of the Earth. That's what I was showing with Meru. Center of the Earth is Meru. That's what you see here. This is the so-called North Pole. And yeah, for me, last year and even until now, it is the spiritual opening. The northern light indicates this. So the spirits come from there, maybe. But it can be also from the stars going down, the Polaris, and then down to Meru, and then coming to the place where you have to go to be born by your mother. And it could be also the way out when you die, maybe to the underworld, or maybe going up. I think this is exactly what it is. Depending on how you made your life, you're going up to Polaris, or you're going down to the underworld, where certain people might come from, certain spirits. So maybe the underworld is the world of the spiritual children made there, or we are made somewhere else. Maybe we just meet here. We don't know this for sure. This is again just another philosophical model, and it could be the way to the new world as well. That is built by the great architect or the righteous people. This is possible. This is something you can believe in, or you don't believe in this. This is all up to you. You have the choice. And those who don't make it, they might have to stay here to make it this living hell, or they have to go to the underground. That's what I think at the moment more. It's more likely. And to have the bitter experience about your insane destruction of the creation, because you are following or listening to the devil, to the demons that are inside you. And this is also a warning for everyone, which I also did not obey because I didn't know. But in Asia I learned, don't go to sleep at dawn, at sundowner, sorry. Don't go to sleep at sundowner, because remember you have this wall. You can also see this wall from the airplane between day and night. And when the wall is coming in between, this is also a wall where you have the world in between, the fourth dimension, the spiritual world, and where the dark spirits can also come. And this wall is always every day going through us. When we are awake, then we are conscious, and so they cannot enter our body. But when we are sleeping, we might dream and leaving our body, or we are just too weak and they can enter our body during this time when the wall is coming between day and night. So this is also ancient knowledge, that you should not sleep at that time. Even if you're tired, better take a shower, make some exercise, but don't sleep. And so many people do this, and so this is how the demons will connect to you and take space in your physical body. When your soul is coming back from dream walking, when you are dreaming, you go into another world, then yeah, the soul knows that there's something else, and the soul is even telling you this, but the mind doesn't understand it because the mind is not connected to the soul for many people. Yeah? The people who are uh, believing and are religious, I think they are actually most likely connected and they are aware of this in all religions all over the world. So that's why be careful about this as well. This is the way how the demons enter your body, and just obey that you don't sleep when the sun is going down, or that you wake up before the sun is going down. Half an hour before you have to wake up. So the demons in life after the death as bad ghosts or spirits with your Lord Satan or Lucifer, the fallen angel, the angel of the light. Because in the story Lucifer was actually sent out of the heaven, but also he had the order to take care of the children, the human, and to teach them the right way. But Lucifer has no interest in the human, and so he's not bringing the light or the enlightenment, only in a certain way, in a dependent way. This is exactly what Freemasonry is doing. So they are Illuminati, they are the enlightened people, but they have to pay a price for this, and this is not the right way. Lucifer is the fallen angel, and he's the angel the of the art, the music, and all these things, even the classical music, all these things to catch us into this. And this is quite catchy, of course. All art, uh, many people like this. Most of the people in different shapes. So the music industry is also very important in this. So when the hell is created, I think the hell is in the underworld, but could be also created here on earth, because I did not know yet that the next day is already coming, the next era. So I think that it will be in the underworld, and those who stick to this until the last moment, they will go also with Satan to the underworld. They will be eaten down. The souls will be eaten down. So you get what you deserve. That's it. Everyone gets what he or she deserves. So the plane of the earth is round, because this is also something which people use, locals use. The earth is round, and then I say, yes, you're right. The flat earth is round as well in the model. So in the radius, it is round in the model, but we cannot say for sure, because there's also something in the Bible, the four corners of the earth or something like this. But this could be a square around the round circle, the ice ring. So I don't think that the ice ring is a square, but around this could be, this square, which is the foundation of the pyramid or of the cube, whatever. So this is possible as well because of the four directions. So you have this giant Antarctic, remember Arctic, the arc, connecting with the dome, but I don't think it's really physical. It's by the temperature and electromagnetic, electrostatic field around, and this is the sky. The sky, but not only the visible sky that we see here, because we see a nice blue sky, but the sky above as well, until the firmament. And this ice belt, I call it in this, the ice ring, the ice belt, has also the foundation of the earth. This is the Hebrew picture of the flat earth. There are foundations and you cannot get through. But when you would look at this from outside, the whole world, the whole creation where we are now, this could look round, spherical, yeah? Especially the upper part. The lower part, we don't know, the underworld, how it looks like, but it could be all round. And it's like, you know, the magicians using this glass ball to look into something. It could be like this also. But we are inside. And there's also the theory about hollow earth, but hollow earth is thinking about living in the inside of the earth. That means all around as well. But what I mean is that the plane of the earth where we are living on is directly in the center of this world sphere. This is possible. And outside there could be also something else, a cube or even a pyramid. Even a double-sided pyramid, like in the Star of David, they call it up and down. You know? And then I have a last link for you. This is the Antarctic ice circle around the flat earth. I will go to this desktop again. You can see it, Antarctic ice circle around the flat earth. Then I made another link, and then we will talk about tomorrow we will talk about racism, about the meaning of racism. This is also a topic, but this will be not for so long. So I will open this link. I can close this already because I don't need to adjust anything anymore. Open this link and open on the site with the YouTube link, but we have to wait until this is completely opened. So there is it's Operation High Jump. It's 1 hour 52 minutes, but I will make it in this video because this video is already long enough. Operation High Jump. So this is a video I recommend.
years ago, the great who was to die asked why did he want to name it. He said because it is there. The moon and the there. And new knowledge, peace there. Therefore, God's blessing, most bad.
Tonight is explorer, countless, and from the south is on
and not because they enough there's left in that's pole on the other side of this. I think it's quite astonishing that there should be an area as big as that unexplored.
this is the kind of
There's a lot of adventure left down at the bottom of the world.
Well, Admiral, may I ask you, is there a grade in the bottom of the world?
There is. Now, the North Pole is the center of an ocean 10,000 feet deep. This pole, the center of a plateau 10,000 feet high. North Polar Sea is surrounded by the Arctic continent is 1,200 miles thick. Now, the south is plateau. It gets some places 14. I've been over area 13,000, and it's chilly up there. So there's that big top and bottom of the world. I don't think the North is cold down the Arctic Ocean.
Hi, another video from A Plain Truth. Today, I'm going to get to Antarctica. It's been going on for 60 years. There's a lot going on down in Antarctica that is not reported at all. So, Antarctica, 242 years, gets called the Resolution, and it's 60,000 miles. 6,000 miles. Now, the Earth's circumference is 25,000 miles, a little under. So that means he traveled over 2 times around the Earth's circumference. I could not find the inland passage. And he was off course a lot, too, which bodes well for the flat Earth theory of an ice wall that keeps the oceans in. Again, in 1939, some settlers, Captain Ross, explored for 4 years. Never finds an inland passage. Also, he was off course as well. And the first naval expedition went down there. Tesla is very important because we're going to talk about him later. Electromagnetic energy that he defined in his work, also creating radio, Wi-Fi, tap a lot of free energy from the sky with a cliff building that J.P. Morgan destroyed when he discovered that free energy could make money on free energy, except for the military and whatnot. And then it created the ultimate directed energy web, as well as alternating current, which we use today. Shackleton goes down the Antarctic, names the ship Nimrod. Nimrod, Babylonian days. Now, everybody knows from Dr. Gunn' alleged rocket that he fired into space and started the first space set in 1920. But what it was about was this loose vacuum in space because it had to back up Einstein's general theory of relativity. So 1926, Outward flies over the North for the first time. It was a 33-degree freedom. He kept it in ships other than ships to the Arctic. He was the post boy for this whole movement to the or alleged poles. Byrd makes first trip voyage to Antarctica. The Great Market Crash. Same time. It's a fun expedition down to Antarctica where they discover the Rockefeller Island. The defeated Germans from World War II.
So, I recommend you to watch this video yourself. That's for sure also very interesting. Admiral Byrd, Freemasonry, and also the expeditions with a ship called Nimrod. Nimrod is also called Babel, and maybe the founder of Freemasonry even. Anyway, so yeah, flat Earth. And let's talk about the blog number 21. Important that we keep in mind only step for this. So I greet you from our flat Earth, and keep your mind open for anything else which can be new. There's much more, and I'm sure that these people know also more than us, but they are no good because they are not sharing this information. Or maybe they cannot share this information because, remember, human is monster, and when they will share this information, maybe this is even a problem for the mind of some people. Who knows? So you have to be ready to receive this information. I think now is the time of the apocalypse, and that means it will open up everything we will see, and it will reveal everything. Yeah. So that's why they would like to get the Armageddon, that this apocalyptic moment is not coming to full extent, but it will come to full extent, and that's liberating ourselves. I hope. Okay. So with that in mind, I welcome you to the next vlog coming up. Have a nice day.